Hey everybody, I'm Bobby and welcome to my channel. You know what they say, for better or for worse, till death, or a misplaced ketchup bottle. Do us part. That's right, folks. We're diving headfirst into the wacky world of ridiculous divorces. We've all heard the phrase irreconcilable differences, but some of these cases take the cake, or should I say, the diagonally cut sandwich. So buckle up, grab your gavel, and get ready to laugh, cringe, and maybe even send a little prayer to your significant other, because things could always be worse. Let's get this court in session. Location, Texas, USA. Our first case, a 15-year marriage flushed down the drain, all because of a disagreement about shopping etiquette. This isn't about a little price difference, folks. This is about the age-old debate over or under. Now, you might think I'm exaggerating, but this couple, let's call them Bob and Brenda, took their TP very seriously. Brenda, a self-proclaimed over-the-roll enthusiast, claimed it was the only logical way to ensure proper dispensing. Bob, on the other hand, stood by his under-the-roll technique with an almost religious fervor. Passive-aggressive notes were left on the shopping list. The roll was mysteriously flipped back and forth in the dead of night. Finally, after what I can only imagine was an explosive argument involving a near-empty cardboard tube, Brenda filed for divorce. Turns out it wasn't just about the direction of the roll, it was about respect, principles, and maybe a touch of shopping-related OCD. Before we move on to the next utterly ridiculous divorce story, tell me in the comments, what's the silliest thing you've ever argued about with your partner? Was it the toilet paper roll, the remote control, or perhaps the correct way to brew tea? Sips tea dramatically. And if you're enjoying these tales of marital mayhem, don't forget to hit that subscribe button because, let's face it, we all need a good laugh now and then. Cheerio! London, UK. Next up on our marital mayhem tour, a case of sonic warfare. Forget what you've heard about couples finishing each other's sentences. This was about one partner drowning out the other's sleep. Literally. Meet Susan, a woman who endured a decade of what can only be described as a nightly foghorn serenade. Her husband, let's call him Snorlax Steve, possessed a snore so powerful, so earth-shattering, it could rival a Boeing 747 taking off. Susan tried everything, earplugs, white noise machines, even banishing Steve to the couch, which, let's be honest, is basically a pre-divorce purgatory. After years of sleep deprivation, Susan finally snapped. She filed for divorce, claiming mental exhaustion and an undying desire to finally, mercifully, get some shut-eye. Ontario, Canada. Hold on to your burgers, folks, because this next story is about a condiment-fueled meltdown. This isn't your average pass-the-salt kind of disagreement. This is about a culinary crime against humanity. Our players, a man named Mark, who apparently enjoys his food unadulterated, and his ketchup-obsessed wife, let's call her Kathy. Now, I'm not talking about a little dab on the side. We're talking full-on ketchup carnage. Pizza, ketchup, pasta, ketchup, sushi. Don't even get me started. Kathy believed ketchup was a magical elixir, the solution to all culinary conundrums. Mark, on the other hand, saw it as an abomination, a culinary crime against nature. He tried reasoning with her, pleading with her, maybe even hiding all the ketchup bottles in the house, although I wouldn't put it past Kathy to have a secret stash. The final straw? Kathy, in a moment of ketchup-crazed insanity, doused Mark's homemade lasagna with the red stuff. The divorce papers were filed faster than you can say, Heinz. Mark claimed emotional distress, culinary cruelty, and an inability to stomach another ketchup-covered bite. Sydney, Australia. Get ready for a story about love, betrayal, and who gets the dog. This isn't your typical love triangle, folks. This one involves a furry third wheel. Imagine this, a married couple, let's call them Dave and Diane, seemingly living in blissful harmony. Until you factor in their dog Sparky, Diane was convinced Sparky favored her. She showered him with treats, belly rubs, and enough doggy sweaters to outfit a small army. Dave, on the other hand, believed in tough love, a firm no-begging-at-the-table policy, and maybe the occasional scratch behind the ears. But Sparky, that fickle furball, had other plans. Every night, without fail, he'd choose to snuggle up, on Dave's side of the bed. Diane saw it as the ultimate betrayal. The arguments escalated. The tension grew thicker than a shedding. St. Bernard, And eventually Diane filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences and canine favoritism. Berlin, Germany. Next up, a case so bizarre, so mind-boggling, it'll make you want to check your own sock drawer. Forget communication breakdowns and financial disagreements. This marriage ended because of, wait for it, inside-out socks. Meet Greg, a man who apparently has very strong feelings about hosiery orientation, and his wife, Linda, who, well, let's just say she might have a rebellious streak when it comes to laundry. Greg was adamant, socks should be folded, paired, and stored right side out. It was a matter of principle, of order, of maintaining the delicate balance of the universe. Linda, however, seemed to find a perverse joy in turning those socks inside out. The years passed, the sock pile grew, and Greg's sanity dwindled. Finally, he snapped. He filed for divorce, claiming emotional distress, sock-related trauma, and an inability to coexist with someone who dared to defy the natural order of hosiery. California, USA. Attention all bingers. This next story from Los Angeles is a cautionary tale about the dangers of spoilers, betrayal, and watching ahead. Forget infidelity. This is about the sanctity of shared TV watching. Picture this, a couple deeply invested in a gripping drama series. They've laughed together, cried together, maybe even yelled at the screen together, but then tragedy strikes. The husband, let's call him Mike, driven by an insatiable need to know what happens next, commits the ultimate act of betrayal. He watches the season finale alone. His wife, let's call her Lisa, is devastated. This isn't just about a TV show, it's about trust, respect, and the unspoken agreement that you don't leave your partner hanging on a cliffhanger. The next day, Lisa filed for divorce in Los Angeles, citing irreconcilable differences and unforgivable spoiler sins. Paris, France. Get ready for a story about culinary control, sandwich warfare, and the age-old question, diagonal or straight cut. This isn't your average lunchtime squabble. This is about power, dominance, and sandwich geometry. Meet John and Jessica, co-workers on the brink. John preferred his sandwiches cut straight, no fuss. Jessica, however, believed in the diagonal cut. She was convinced it enhanced the flavor and aesthetic. The final straw came when John discovered his PB&J sliced into triangles. New York, USA. Hold on to your tubes, folks, because this next story is messier than a bathroom sink after a toothpaste explosion. Forget money, kids, or in-laws. This marriage ended because of toothpaste etiquette. Meet we are, and I'm not making this up. A couple so divided over the proper way to squeeze a tube of toothpaste that they ended up in divorce court. Let's call them Tom and Tiffany. Tom, a self-proclaimed squeezer from the middle kind of guy, believed in efficiency over aesthetics. Tiffany, on the other hand, was a devout roller from the bottom disciple, dedicated to maintaining a sense of order and decorum in the bathroom. Tubes were squeezed, rolled, and even strategically hidden in an attempt to assert toothpaste dominance. Finally, after one particularly heated argument involving a near-empty tube and a toothbrush flung across the room, Tiffany filed for divorce. She cited irreconcilable differences and an inability to cohabitate with someone who disrespects the sanctity of a well-maintained toothpaste tube. Tokyo, Japan. Get ready for a story of epic forgetfulness, botched apologies, and a birthday cake that sealed the deal. On a divorce? Forget anniversaries and Valentine's Day. This marriage ended because of a consistently forgotten birthday. Meet, for the sake of anonymity, let's call them, oh, I don't know, Brad and Jennifer. Brad, bless his heart, seemed to suffer from a chronic case of selective amnesia, conveniently forgetting Jennifer's birthday. 3 years in a row. The first year, Jennifer let it slide. The second year, she dropped some not-so-subtle hints, strategically placed calendars, maybe even left a trail of birthday confetti leading to a celebratory cake. But Brad, oblivious as ever, remained clueless. The third year, however, was the final straw. Brad, in a last-ditch attempt to salvage the situation, did manage to procure a cake, but with one tiny, disastrous detail. The cake read, "Happy birthday, Linda." Jennifer, I imagine, didn't take it well. She filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences, emotional neglect, and a complete disregard for the importance of cake. Florida, USA. Hold on to your remotes because this story is a channel surfing showdown for the ages. Forget finances, chores, or even snoring spouses. This marriage ended because of, the battle for TV dominance. Meet our final contestants in the game of marital mayhem. Let's call them Steve and Sarah. Steve, a die-hard sports fanatic, believed the TV was a sacred temple dedicated to all things athletic. Sarah, on the other hand, was a reality TV queen, glued to the screen for every dramatic showdown, tearful confession and rose ceremony. Their living room became a war zone, the coffee table littered with empty snack bowls and the air thick with the tension of 1,000 remote control standoffs. Finally, after years of battling over the fate of their Friday nights, they called it quits. Sarah filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences and an inability to share a remote control or a life. Well, there you have it, folks. 10 cautionary tales from the wild world of ridiculous divorces. Remember, communication is key. Or, just learn to live with your partner's quirks. If you've ever argued over how to hang toilet paper, let me know in the comments below. Are you team over or team under? Let's settle this debate once and for all. And if these stories made you laugh, hit that subscribe button for more hilarious content. Until next time, remember, love may be blind, but divorce lawyers have seen it all.